Opener. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Heri Herdiawanto from Al-Azhar Indonesia University, Faculty of Political Science and Social Sciences, International Relations Study Program. Praise be to Allah Almighty for His mercy and blessings. The author was able to complete the UAS video task with the theme Drugs Trafficking in Southeast Asia Not to Forget. The author would like to thank Mr. and Mrs. Heri Herdiawanto and Ulya Amaliya as lecturers who teach the Contemporary Global Issue course for providing material in this online lecture. I realized that there were flaws in this video task. Therefore, suggestions and criticisms are always expected for the improvement of my work. I also hope that this task will be able to provide an understanding and knowledge of drugs. Discussion. East Asia faces a series of non-traditional security challenges that include environmental concerns, infectious diseases and transnational crime. Rather than creating such forms of insecurity, the process of globalization has significantly amplified their spread and impact and accelerated their significance. This video focuses on illicit drug trafficking in Southeast Asian countries and examines these categories of transnational crime in the context of a globalizing world. The problem of transnational crime in East Asia is severe and consists primarily of drug trafficking, human smuggling and trafficking, money laundering, transnational prostitution, sea piracy, and arms smuggling. Some of the largest and most dangerous criminal organizations operating in East Asia are the Chinese triads, the Japanese yakuza and Vietnamese gangs. Smaller networks have also flourished in most regional states and set up transnational criminal activities. Most East Asian countries suffer from fragile domestic institutions and socio-economic problems and inequalities. Drug trafficking is a transnational criminal activity and most likely the largest international crime problem in the world. The global trade of illicit drugs is believed to be worth as much as $400 billion a year. This figure is almost comparable to the tourism industry. The United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, UNODC, estimates that 200 million people consume illegal drugs worldwide, mostly cannabis. The drug trade occurs in a global market where narcotics are transported from a producing country to transit states and then to their final destinations. Drug cartels operate across national boundaries and produce, process, transport and distribute illicit drugs. The drug trade, but also to an increasing extent human smuggling and trafficking, has provided these mafias with exceptional financial resources. These funds enable the criminal syndicates to purchase modern military equipment and to pay off corrupt politicians, judges and police authorities. Consequently, the reference to these mafias as mere criminal groups, especially in the case of the Chinese triads, tends to minimize the threat that they pose to the political, economic and societal stability of East Asian states. The production of narcotics in East Asia is an historic phenomenon that has clearly predated the emergence of a so-called process of globalization. Regional production has been increased, however, as a result of an ever-growing demand for illicit drugs at a global level. The Golden Triangle, which incorporates northern Thailand, eastern Myanmar, and western Laos, has traditionally been one of the leading producing regions of narcotics in the world. Some Southeast Asian countries have traditionally served as transit for illicit drugs exported to different parts of the world including North America, Europe, and Northeast Asia. An effective distribution network enables the drug traffickers to transport the refined heroin and amphetamines from the Golden Triangle into Thailand but also into China's Yunnan province and then overland to Guangdong, Hong Kong, and Macau. Moreover, Ho Chi Minh City, Manila and Phnom Penh have become important hubs in the global drug distribution network. All these destinations are used as transit points to supply domestic and international markets and clearly illuminate the transnational nature of the drug trade. ASEAN has also sought to address the problem of drug trafficking in its Plan of Action to Combat Transnational Crime adopted in May 2002.39 to enhance the exchange of information. The program asks member states to disseminate relevant laws, regulations and bilateral agreements, as well as to the international treaties they have acceded to. It also seeks to improve law enforcement and training by recommending the appointment of drug liaison officers, the organization of conferences and training programs. In short, the ASEAN and broader regional reaction to drug trafficking has primarily focused on soft mechanisms of cooperation. Campaign. Drug use is very dangerous for health and psychiatry. The impacts include damaging the respiratory system, changes in brain function, damaging the circulatory system, disorders of the reproductive system, disorders of the liver, etc. Meanwhile, the impact of drug use on psychiatry includes paranoid, feeling insecure, work becomes sluggish and careless and tense and restless. The role of society. First, the religious approach, Regelius. Through this approach, those who are still clean from the world of drugs, are always instilled in the teachings of the religion they profess. Second, psychological deterrence. With this approach, those who have not been touched by the pseudo-enjoyment of drugs, are given heart-to-heart advice by those closest to them, according to the character of their personality. Third, the social approach. Both those who have not and those who have experienced drugs, through this approach are made aware that they are an important part of their family and environment. Therefore, drugs are very dangerous and are one of the few things that can affect and damage the morale of the next generation of the nation.